the third year of marriage. My sister, who has been widowed for a long time, asked me for sperm to have a child. I immediately refused. However, the whole family is not happy with me. Mom said I don't understand the bonds of blood relations. My husband says that my relationship with my sister is too superficial. Even my 6-year-old son criticizes me for being too cold-hearted. That night, I took my husband to my sister's room. Everyone in the family is very happy, praise me for being sensible. I smiled, because I am always very generous about the things I have to give up. At dawn, my husband Jonathan quietly returned to our room, gently lie down beside me, want to hold me. I saw this situation. Hurry and dodge, don't touch me. I opened my eyes, frowning at Jonathan. Jonathan was suddenly scared, gave an awkward smile. Wife, aren't you asleep? Sure, I nodded. His gaze inevitably fell on his neck. That bright red mark is truly eye-catching. The constant reminder of this man's identity in front of me makes me uncomfortable. I couldn't help but furrow my brows. Why did you come back so early? Jonathan listened. The expression became somewhat serious. Wife, this is an obvious question. We are a couple if I don't come back. Where else would I want to go? Upon hearing this, I couldn't help but laugh a little. He looked at Jonathan with a slightly mocking gaze. Couple? You and my sister Emily are also a couple, aren't you? Jonathan's expression immediately turned sour. Jessica, at that time, it was you who agreed to let your sister borrow someone to have a child. The expression speaking with the mouth Hermians, I felt very distressed upon hearing it. At first, my sister Emily brought this up. I outright refused. But what is their attitude? Mom tried to change my mind, even threatened me with accusations of being unfilial. Sister, Emily kneels at the entrance of my company every day. Say nothing. It's just crying. Even my 6-year-old son Michael is shouting that he won't go to school if I don't agree. Jonathan's behavior is truly frustrating. Directly restricted all my assets. I don't even have money to buy a pack of instant noodles. What other option do I have besides agreeing? I stared at Jonathan. It might be that I made them feel a bit uncomfortable with my gaze. His attitude became a bit gentler. Dear, you can rest assured. The person I will love forever is you. And I guarantee, wait for my sister to get pregnant. I will never touch her again. Sure, I nodded, turn around. I don't want to say anything more. But Jonathan tightly embraced me from behind. Wife, honestly, you should take good care of yourself now, although my sister is 8 years older than you. But there is not an ounce of excess flesh on the body. Upon hearing this, I feel a wave of discomfort in my heart. It's simply disgusting. I didn't expect Jonathan to say such an outrageous thing. I want to break free from his embrace, but this seemed to make him even more pleased with himself. Hands began to move messily over my body. Wife, last night, did you miss me a lot? Jonathan leaned in very close. I can feel the warmth of his breath when he speaks. This makes me feel a bit uncomfortable. Just when I felt it was unbearable, there was a sudden knock at the door. Jonathan, Emily suddenly felt a bit unwell. Can you go see her? I heard my mom's voice. Jonathan stopped immediately. He looked at me, hesitated for a moment. Wife, I saw this. Quickly help him sit up, hurry up. Husband, my sister has not been very healthy since she was young. If she feels unwell, take her to the hospital for a checkup. Jonathan listened to what I said. She smiled. Wife, I knew you were the most tolerant and kind-hearted. Jonathan kissed me while holding me. He just walked out of the room. I quickly wiped away the places he had kissed. I feel very uncomfortable inside. The mother, who had not yet left the door, saw this scene, speaking sincerely and earnestly. Jessica, don't blame your sister, you are sisters. Everything should be shared with each other. Say it again. It's better for Jonathan to be with your sister than to go out looking for someone else. I listened. He chuckled coldly and said, rest assured. Mom, I don't care. Anyway, I don't intend to stay in this home any longer. After my mom left the room, I will immediately take my ID card and other documents to the police station. After completing the immigration procedures, I had my lawyer prepare a divorce agreement for me. I quickly bought a lot of equipment like pinhole cameras, then hurried home. As soon as you enter the door, Jonathan asked me in a cold tone, where did you go? Wife, I didn't go anywhere. I was speaking as I did so. Walking towards my bedroom, Jonathan saw the situation, immediately grabbed my arm. Jessica, do you know what time it is now? Even if you are angry, it wouldn't be that they wouldn't make lunch. That's right, be quiet. The sister next to her also said, I know that you have your dissatisfaction with me, but you can't just ignore Michael, can you? He is still a child. Not eating will affect his development. I listened to what was said, could not help but frown. Since you care so much about my son, why not go cook for him? My sister was caught off guard by my response, speechless at once. The expression on the face also seemed a bit wronged. Jonathan saw this scene. A hint of heartache flashed in her eyes. Jessica, Jonathan shot me a fierce glare. Can you stop always targeting your sister? Isn't it you who has always been cooking in this household? Don't forget, you are a housewife. Upon hearing this sentence, I gave a bitter smile. That's right. Since the day I married Jonathan, I quit my job. I take on all the household chores, for example, doing laundry, cooking, mopping the floor, etc. to take care of this family and everyone in it. I have invested a lot of time and effort, but in the end, what I received in return was betrayal. Maybe they have never regarded me as one of the family, feeling a little sad. I don't want to argue with Jonathan anymore. I turned around and went to the kitchen. Your sister is not in good health. Remember to make her some chicken soup for nourishment, Jonathan said. Jonathan, you are very thoughtful, sister smiled. His eyes were full of pride. While I was cooking, my mom suddenly walked in. I saw her some confusion. After all, she never goes into the kitchen because she feels that the cooking fumes there are bad for the skin. What's wrong? I looked at my mom. Jessica, what you did today was a bit excessive. My mother's expression was somewhat complicated. Hearing these words, I was stunned, filled with doubt. My mom looks at me like this. Continue. You know in your heart that your sister has been spoiled since she was young. Why not cook on time? Is it just because of her matter you just don't care about her anymore? I am not blaming you, but you are really immature. These words made me feel a heavy weight in my heart, although I have always known that she prefers her sister. But hearing these words still makes me very sad. From childhood to adulthood, no matter what I do, in her eyes, she is not as good as her sister. Sister can do nothing. I just need to do a little less. I will be blamed by my mom. Why is this? I looked at my mom with grievance. Mom, am I really your biological daughter? Why do you always have a different attitude towards me and my sister? What makes you think you can compare yourself to your sister? My mom's complexion isn't looking too good. Your sister is here to express her gratitude. I hardly exerted any effort when I gave birth to her. You really are a handful. You know, I faced many difficulties when I gave birth to you. Nearly had an accident on the operating table. So how should I treat you two sisters fairly? I heard what my mom said. I was stunned. My heart was filled with disbelief. I had no idea that this was the reason she never liked me. This is truly ironic. I looked at my mother coldly and said, if there is nothing else, you can go out now. What is going on with you? My mom is a bit unhappy. I'm telling you this to help you. Aren't I? Jessica is your sister. Jonathan is your husband. You are all family. I make yourself so unhappy over such a small matter. Upon hearing this phrase, I couldn't help but show a hint of a sarcastic smile. Small matter. That's right. Perhaps in their eyes, using someone else's sperm to have a child really isn't a big deal. Is it? I can't be bothered to pay attention to my mom anymore. Turn and walk towards the bedroom. Just arrived at the door. I heard my sister's particularly gentle voice. Jonathan, just agree to me. I'm begging you. No. What should we do when Jessica comes back? Jonathan said softly. What are you afraid of? She is cooking in the kitchen. They won't come back, Jonathan. I really want you, all right? You, charming little creature. Hearing his response, I felt like all the blood in my body had suddenly turned cold. I originally thought that Jonathan had some feelings for me, but now it appears that I really overthought it. He completely disregarded my feelings. To think that they were doing those unacceptable things with my sister in my bedroom. I gently cracked the door open a little, seeing the two people on the bed together without any reservations. I feel very heavy in my heart. Jonathan, that's impressive. Sister panted as she spoke. You tell me, do you prefer me or Jessica? Of course it's you. Baby, your sister is like a weak fish in bed. You are not interesting at all. I felt a tightness in my nose. Tears could not help but flow down. How could they insult me like this? The sound of bodies colliding and the soft breaths of the two. It makes me feel like a big hand is gripping my heart tightly. I really feel very uncomfortable. With a low growl, Jonathan and his sister have finished everything. In that moment, my feelings for everyone completely vanished. I gently closed the door. Take this opportunity. I installed the purchased pinhole cameras in my sister's bedroom, living room, and every corner. After completing these tasks, I brought the food to the dining table. Why is the dish so simple? Jonathan looked at the dishes on the table, furrowed his brows. I answered, sorry. Next time, I will pay attention. I see that my attitude is good. Jonathan didn't say anything else. Instead, she served her sister a bowl of chicken soup. Come, replenish the body. Jonathan looked meaningfully at his sister. Sister blushed immediately, seeing the ambiguous interactions between them. I was just eating my meal numbly. At that moment, the son suddenly asked, "Aunt, can you attend the parent-teacher meeting tomorrow on behalf of my mom?" It seems a bit inappropriate, Sister said, gave me a glance. How could it be bad? The son curled his lips. Say, why does my mom always dress so normal? Everyone calls her an ugly old woman. Okay, then I'll go in your place. The sister suddenly spoke. It seems like something has come to mind. Turned to look at me. I feel a bit embarrassed to ask, Jessica, would you mind? I was about to answer. At that moment, my son next to me began to cry loudly. I don't care. I don't want my mom to go. Why am I not my aunt's child? Mom is so ugly. It's really annoying. Seeing my son cry so intensely, I'm about to explode with anger. I really can't figure out what I've put in over the past few years. The result obtained is like this. If that's the case, no one should expect to live well. I stood up suddenly, forcefully support the dining table. One turn, the entire table was flipped over. Splash, bowls, chopsticks, and food are scattered everywhere. Made a mess. Jonathan saw this scene, immediately very angry. What are you doing, Jessica? What do you actually want to do? I smiled slightly, with a hint of sarcasm. Can't you see it? Then, I turned my gaze towards my son. Continue speaking, since you hate me as your mother so much. From then on, let's call her Mommy Emily. Upon hearing this, the son immediately started crying. You bad person. I don't want you anymore. The son ran into his sister's arms. Sister felt a bit displeased. Jessica, you are going a bit too far. Michael is still just a child. Are you really this angry just because he said a few casual words? He spoke casually. I let out a scoff. Even the dog doesn't mind that the family is poor. The child does not think that their mother is ugly. He doesn't even understand this principle. He is not worthy of being my son at all. Jessica, Jonathan's expression immediately darkened. It felt as if the water was about to drip down. Is what my son said incorrect? Look at yourself. All day long, being unkempt. A piece of clothing has been worn for several years. Don't mention that your son's classmates are laughing at you. Even my company's partners often joke around. I said I found a hard-working wife. There is money in the house. Why do you have to make yourself look so embarrassed? Jonathan's words hit like a heavy hammer, hit me hard in the heart. It makes me feel suffocated over the years. I live frugally, gave their father and son the best of everything. For this family, I gave it my all. As a result, this led to such humiliation. This is really ridiculous. I held back my tears, looking at Jonathan. Jonathan, don't you feel uncomfortable saying these words? Jessica, my mom shouted seriously from the side. How can you talk to your son-in-law like that? The son-in-law is working hard outside to support the family. Be a little nicer to him. That's right. Jonathan works for a living, drinking to the point of causing gastric bleeding. If he is said to have no conscience, is there any man in the world with a conscience? Sister looked at Jonathan with a heartbroken expression. Jonathan was deeply moved. Hold her hand tightly. Emily, you truly understand me. Feel sorry for me. Watching them speak one after another, I couldn't help but reveal a hint of a sarcastic smile. Understanding, heartbroken, when Jonathan had gastrointestinal bleeding, I took care of him in the hospital for a full 2 months. I hardly slept. He looked in good spirits when he was discharged from the hospital. However, I lost a full 20 pounds. What was Emily doing at that time? She is using the money that Jonathan earned through hard work to travel abroad. And now, Jonathan was unexpectedly moved by just a few words. It's really quite amusing. I quietly watched Jonathan. Not a word was said. My mom saw this situation. He stepped forward and shoved me. What are you still standing there for? Hurry up and apologize to your son-in-law. Why should I apologize? I shot her a cold glance. You, girl, they don't even listen to me anymore. It really makes me angry. Mom kept banging her chest with her hand while speaking. I feel like I made a big mistake. Jessica, take a look. Made Mom so angry, my sister frowned and said, the person Mom loves the most is you. How can you treat her like this? Sister was talking while I walked over and gently patted my mom's back. I want her to relax, seeing them so close. I couldn't help but feel, it's really insincere. You clearly know that Mom's favorite is you. Actually said something like this. Then I turned my head to look at Jonathan. It seems that way now. You should have been with my sister from the beginning. After all, it is more suitable for those who are ungrateful and those who pretend to be innocent. Hearing me say this, Jonathan was immediately so angry that his whole body trembled. Clenching both hands into fists, Jessica, don't say anything more. Jonathan gritted his teeth and said, Jessica, I know you don't like me. my sister said tearfully. But you can't say that, Jonathan. He is your husband, you should quickly apologize to him. I listened. Just a cold smile. Don't speak. Her gaze kept drifting between her and Jonathan. Full of contempt, Jonathan could no longer stand it, finally unable to hold back. Gave me a hard slap. You are really going too far. Jonathan is very strong. I was knocked to the ground before I had time to react. The broken pieces of the bowl and chopsticks scratched my skin. Blood immediately flowed out. I strived to stand up. As a result, a severe pain suddenly struck in the abdomen, let me fall to the ground again. The pain made my forehead break out in cold sweat. At that moment, the son suddenly shouted, "Mom is bleeding." Bright red blood soaked my pants. I felt a shiver. Jonathan saw it. Her face instantly turned very flustered and guilty. "I'll take you to the hospital." "Wife," Jonathan walked towards me. At this moment, sister suddenly supported her head, poured over Jonathan. "Jonathan, I feel very dizzy. I'm feeling a bit out of breath. Son-in-law, hurry and take Emily to the hospital." My mother seemed very anxious. However, Jessica. Jonathan looked at me, a bit hesitant. My mom saw this, immediately say, "She deserves it. Didn't even realize she was pregnant, still dare to argue with you. She has lost so much blood. The child definitely can't be saved. Jessica might also be pregnant now. Let's take Jessica for a checkup quickly." Jonathan listened to this. No more hesitation. He directly picked up his sister and walked toward the door. "Take care of yourself." My mom shot me a glare. He picked up his son beside him and ran out. Watching their figures fade away, I am filled with resentment. I didn't expect these people to be so heartless. Leave me here. Let me live or die on my own. Feeling the little life in the abdomen gradually fade away, a hint of a bitter smile appeared at the corner of my mouth. That's fine too, after all. Born into such a family, it's better to start over. I climbed to the edge of the sofa with great effort, called an ambulance using the landline. After that, I stayed in the hospital for a full half-month. During this time, Jonathan's mom and sister did not come to see me. Out of curiosity, I opened the surveillance software at home. Just realized, in order to give Jonathan and his sister more time to be alone together, their mother, I took my son on a trip. Jonathan requested a long leave from the company. I spent a lot of intimate time at home with my sister every day, whether on the bed or the sofa, still at the dining table. All left traces of their joy. I watched the way they were engaged. She smiled and closed the phone screen. It's okay. Their happiness can only last for 3 days. I then booked a flight to the UK. The day of departure. It just happens to be the anniversary celebration of Jonathan Company. The guests are all seated, watching this scene. Jonathan hurried backstage and kept calling me. However, a cold, mechanical female voice always comes through the receiver. "The user you are calling is powered off." Jonathan's face immediately turned very unpleasant. He said angrily, "This is Jessica. She is clearly trying to put me in a difficult position on purpose. I can go up later to take her place." The sister suggested. "No, the company's key employees and my business partners all know her. Today, I have an important contract to sign. The boss dislikes partners who have a poor relationship with their spouses the most." Just as they were speaking, Jonathan's assistant suddenly ran over. "Jonathan, an accident has occurred. Please hurry and go check in front." Hearing what the assistant said, Jonathan and his sister immediately ran towards the banquet hall. At this moment, the large screen in the banquet hall is playing the short film I made for them. "Jonathan, you are really impressive." "Emily, why is there such a big gap between you sisters?" "Emily, call me husband." The scenes between the two that are not very suitable for public viewing continued to play on. Jonathan suddenly froze. Her face was filled with disbelief. What's going on?" Jonathan spoke to himself. Then they hurriedly shouted loudly at the host on stage. "Turn it off quickly. You are really foolish. Hurry up and turn it off." Hearing his words, the host hurriedly pressed a few buttons on the control panel. However, not only did they not turn off the big screen, it also directly locked down the entire host. Jonathan saw this scene. Suddenly, everything went dark before my eyes. If it weren't for the quick response of the sister next to me, "Help him in time. He fell down a long time ago." "This is really a fool," Jonathan said angrily. He really couldn't understand how this host could be so confused. Nature. The host won't tell Jonathan that I gave him a large sum of money, watching those uncomfortable videos on the big screen. The guests at the scene were all amazed. "Oh my God, brother-in-law and sister-in-law, this is really too much. What is this situation? It's simply unacceptable. My husband is actually together with my sister. It's really heart-wrenching." Everyone is engaged in discussion, the gaze directed at Jonathan, and his sister was filled with contempt and dissatisfaction. What should we do, Jonathan? Sister was so anxious that sweat was starting to form on her forehead. Tears were welling up in the eyes. How would I know? Jonathan said loudly, feeling unhappy at this moment. My mom ran out from backstage. Son-in-law, Emily, I heard that something happened. What exactly happened? She asked loudly. However, when she saw the content playing on the big screen, immediately fainted. Mom, sister and Jonathan ran over immediately. However, no matter what they call, even if I forcefully pinch my mom's wrist, she never woke up. Jonathan saw this. I decided to have my assistant take my sister and send my mom to the hospital. Then he stayed here to handle the subsequent matters. By now, he can only stabilize Mr. Wang, who is supposed to sign the contract today. For now, Jonathan quickly walked towards the main table with the wine. I happened to see General Manager Wang getting ready to leave. Jonathan's heart tightened, hastily said, President Wang, please don't leave in a hurry. Let me explain. Things are not as you see them. What is the use of explanation? Mr. Wang cast a disdainful glance at Jonathan. Isn't the male lead in the video you? Upon hearing this, Jonathan immediately felt both ashamed and angry. Mr. Wang, there is actually a misunderstanding here. Today, we mainly want to discuss cooperation between companies. Don't let my personal issues affect the collaboration between the two companies. Small matter. Mr. Wang sneered contemptuously, eyes filled with incredulity. You are truly bold, actually treating infidelity as a trivial matter. Our company is not quite a good fit for experts like you. Moreover, if any negative events occur in the future, the reputation of our company will also be affected. So, let's forget about the things we discussed before. After finishing speaking, Mr. Wang left. Jonathan watched his back. The expression on their face suddenly became very unpleasant. He held the wine glass tightly in his hand. The veins on the back of the hand are prominently bulging. At this moment, other collaborators approached aggressively. Today, Jonathan really opened our eyes. A partner scoffed. That's right. I didn't expect that Jonathan would have such a hobby. He is particularly interested in his sister-in-law. Another partner chimed in as well. Jonathan heard this. I was incredibly angry. He really wanted to smash the wine glass in his hand at those people. But he understands that this is not a viable approach. After all, if it is like this, his company is completely finished. Jonathan tried to suppress his inner anger. She forced a slightly unnatural smile. Everyone misunderstood. I will explain to everyone what happened today. This is unnecessary. The leading partner waved his hand coldly. Said indifferently, from today on, our cooperation has come to an end. That's right. I no longer want to cooperate with you. I feel the same way. The contract I signed with you is no longer valid. Everyone expressed their agreement. Jonathan saw the situation. I suddenly felt a chill in my heart. Ladies and gentlemen, Jonathan tried to speak again, want to turn the situation around. These people completely ignored him, walked straight towards the main door. Jonathan suddenly realized, this time it's really hopeless. Jessica, wait for me, Jonathan said angrily, then hurried to the hospital. Jonathan, you have arrived. The sister saw him. Hurry up and come over. The doctor said that Mom had a cerebral infarction. They are in the process of rescuing. Sure, Jonathan nodded with his head down. After seeing it, the sister, a hint of concern flashed in his eyes. Jonathan, what's wrong with you? Is there a problem that occurred at the banquet? Upon hearing this, Jonathan appeared to be in great pain. The corner of the eye is a bit red. Emily, this time it really went poorly. All the partners have terminated their contracts. The company can no longer hold on. Sister heard it, stunned for a moment, took a few steps back. The face was filled with shock. How could this happen? Is it because of that video? A hint of disbelief flickered in her sister's eyes. Even if we have problems, that has nothing to do with the company's collaboration. These people are really unreasonable. My sister's face was filled with anger. It's all Jessica's fault. No matter how angry she is, she shouldn't treat you like this. She clearly wants to destroy this family. At that moment, the lights in the emergency room went out. The doctor came out with a heavy expression on his face. Jonathan and his sister saw this. Hurry up and go forward, doctor. How is my mother's condition? Sister asked with a worried expression. The doctor slightly closed his mouth. Answer said, the patient was successfully rescued, but the brain infarction was too severe. Some brain tissue is completely necrotic, so she will face the possibility of lifelong paralysis. What? The sister's legs went weak, leaning on Jonathan. Jonathan, what should we do now? My sister's nose feels a bit sour. Tears kept streaming down. Jonathan saw this situation, feeling very sad. He hugged his sister tightly. Speak softly, don't worry. Everything will pass. Everything will be fine. At that moment, sister suddenly sat up straight, looking at Jonathan. Jonathan, I came up with a good idea. It can help us solve the current problem. What idea is it? Jonathan frowned slightly and asked, since Jessica can use video to put us in this predicament, then why can't we take revenge? The sister raised her eyebrows and said, what you mean is, let's make a video as well. Jonathan was a bit confused, but we don't even know where Jessica is right now. Sister let out a cold smile. Say, Jonathan, we don't need to care about where Jessica went. We need to focus on live streaming. What does it mean? Jonathan is a bit confused. You will know soon, the sister said, took out the phone. She quickly registered an account, then opened the live broadcast room. Hello, everyone. I would like to sincerely apologize to you. I know I shouldn't bother everyone with family matters, but my mother, who is bedridden, really misses my sister. Sister cried very sadly. I know my sister can be a bit inconsiderate. She made her mother sick. He also abandoned his 6-year-old son, but I really miss her. I hope everyone can help me find her. Sister is so sad. It immediately drew a lot of sympathy from fans. Everyone consoled her. However, some netizens have started to be quite unfriendly towards me. This sister is really a good person. Even if the sister has a bad temperament, she still wasn't willing to give up on finding her. I have a sister like this. What bad luck. This woman is too ruthless, not only abandoning her husband and child, it also caused mom to become paralyzed. That's really ruthless. Sister saw the rapidly scrolling barrage of comments. He glanced at Jonathan beside him, eyes filled with pride. Emily, you are amazing. Jonathan made a thumbs-up gesture with his mouth, gave a thumbs up. At this time in the UK, the plane landed. I went straight to the company I admired for the interview after successfully obtaining the offer. I rented a small apartment near the company, although the house is not big, but this is my first home in the UK. I decorated the house to make it very cozy. Every day, except for work. What I like the most is comfortably reading books at home. I originally thought that life would just pass by in this ordinary way. However, I went to work today. I suddenly noticed that my colleagues were looking at me with strange expressions. I feel very confused after work. I called my colleague, Xiao Zhao, who I have a good relationship with, to the cafe. Xiao Zhao, you have to tell me, what exactly happened? Why do people look at me with such strange expressions? Xiao Zhao seemed a bit surprised. Sister Jessica, don't you know yet you are now at our company? No, it should be said that it is quite well known throughout the whole country. What? I was filled with doubt. Xiao Zhao observed this situation, directly put her phone in front of me. Take a look for yourself, Sister Jessica. I looked at the screen following her words. When I saw my sister's pitiful expression, I was stunned for a moment. How could it be her? I whispered, furrowing her brows. I patiently watched the entire live stream. Xiao Zhao asked curiously, Sister Jessica, are you really the streamer's sister? I nodded with a frown. So you've really left your husband and children. It also caused your mother to have a stroke out of anger. Xiao Zhao asked again. What do you think? I looked at Xiao Zhao. Feelings are complicated. I don't think you're that kind of person. There must be some reason for this. Xiao Zhao shook his head. That's right, I spoke softly. Upon hearing this, Xiao Zhao was a bit anxious. Sister Jessica, then why don't you expose them? Do you know how popular they have become recently? Not only do fans give them tips every day, many brands are looking to collaborate with them, help promote products and earn commissions. In a few days, everyone will come to know the truth of the matter. I said this while looking out the window. The gaze became very profound. I originally planned to wait until my job was fully stable, make a final settlement with them. It seems now, they seem to be eagerly wanting to end everything. Then I'll help them with this. After returning home, I made a phone call to the lawyer. I heard that he has almost finished preparing the materials. I immediately booked a plane ticket to Huaguo for tomorrow. It's time to put an end to all of this. After landing, I went directly to the police station with the lawyer. Meanwhile, Sister and Jonathan started their live broadcast as usual. But it just started 5 minutes ago. The doorbell rang. Is it possible that Jessica has come back? A hint of surprise appeared in her sister's eyes. The fans in the live stream heard this sentence. It became even livelier. The sister saw the situation. Immediately, I took my phone and walked towards the main door with Jonathan. However, when they opened the door, they were stunned. Who is Jonathan? The man in police uniform spoke. A few police officers were following behind. Jonathan was very surprised. "I am. Is there something I can help you with? We now suspect you of domestic violence. It is related to a deliberate homicide case. Please come with us," said. The police stepped forward and put handcuffs on him. The live broadcast room instantly became lively. "What is going on here? How did my brother-in-law get involved with domestic violence? It's over. Can the items I purchased in the live broadcast room still be shipped normally?" The human heart is difficult to gauge. I used to feel sorry for him. It may all be an illusion. The sister suddenly panicked. She wanted to explain. However, they couldn't figure out what was actually going on. There's no way. She had no choice but to exit the live stream room. Meanwhile, on the other side, after recording the testimony at the police station, I uploaded the surveillance video of the day Jonathan hit me along with the incident to the internet. My account suddenly attracted a lot of attention from netizens. When the number of fans reached a figure I never expected, I started my first live stream. In the live broadcast, I detailed to my online friends about my sister's experience with artificial insemination and the injustices and grievances I have faced at home over the years. In addition to some evidence I provided, everyone's attitude suddenly changed. All the netizens are very angry. They didn't expect that their sister and Jonathan would treat them this way. "What kind of person is this? I even tipped them a whole month's salary before. It's really disappointing. How could they do such a thing and still have the audacity to lie to gain sympathy? This is really biased." My sister's account is filled with criticism from netizens. Her behavior with Jonathan made many people very angry. Therefore, the authorities completely shut down the older sister's live streaming room. In addition, the sister has to return the money given by the online users and must bear a high penalty for breach of contract to the brand side. The day of the trial, Jonathan turned red when he saw me. "Jessica, how can you treat me like this? We were once a married couple. Are you really that heartless?" I ignored him. He calmly explained the course of events to the judge, although the evidence is still quite substantial. But because I was not seriously injured, so Jonathan was only sentenced to 3 months of detention. However, because he made a mistake in the marriage, he lost all his possessions. The custody of the son was awarded to him. I made a one-time payment of a large amount for child support. From then on, I no longer have any relationship with my son. Sister gave all the money to the brand, but this is still not enough. She sold her house and car, but still owes a lot of money. Jonathan's company has also completely went bankrupt. The employees have all left. Jonathan was released from prison, can only squeeze into a tiny rented room with my sister. He directed all the anger in his heart towards his sister and her son. He drinks alcohol every day. It's just fighting. Finally, one day, sister could no longer tolerate it. Jonathan was seriously injured. As a result, the sister was sentenced to life imprisonment. Jonathan lost his support. Later, he became a beggar. I kindly sent my mother and son to a nursing home. However, that place is quite scary. Their future days may be more difficult. After completing these tasks, I returned to the UK. 3 months later, I successfully passed the probation period. My supervisor thinks highly of me, trained me to be the successor of the future. Even better is, I have also gained a lot of followers. After work every day, I will also conduct live broadcasts, sell some things. My life is very fulfilling. I'm quite happy too, I think. I will be this happy every day in the future.